Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, guys? From Veterans Council Veterans fans. This is Tony Williams from Veterans Council Veterans. And what I want to talk to you about is last time we met with the coalition, we met May 18th. We had a lot of people there, a lot of participants. I want to give a shout out and thanks to Councilman Charlie Chris, who was there, the Pinellas County Commissioner Dave Eggers was there, and as well as the Florida Department of Veteran Affairs Chief of Staff Al Carter. So I want to thank you for being there for our event. From that event, we gave out we asked for some surveys, and we also asked people who want to be part of the core. And we got that. We had our first core meeting this Wednesday, well, the 17th. But what I want to first of all talk about is what's happened since last we met. Veterans Council Veterans had to provide services to at least 3 suicide events that occurred within a 10-day period. We had one where a TAPS volunteer lost her nephew to suicide in Texas, and they had services in Lakeland, and we provided services for her. We had a Air Force veteran right outside MacDill die by suicide in a tragic situation. Him and his girlfriend were having a fight. He threw her down the stairs and actually went into the bathroom, locked himself, and died by suicide. The 12-year-old son and the girlfriend had to bust the door down, and the 12-year-old son had to witness this tragic event. We got one of our people from our event, Angela Britton, actually volunteered to provide services because Angela is an expert when it comes to children and adolescent suicide, and she automatically volunteered her services to provide services for the 12-year-old. Ultimately, we also coordinate with TAPS. Carla Strump-Patton, she's an area coordinator for TAPS, Tragedy Assistance Program for survivors, and we through TAPS they found a provider in Edgewater, which is a couple hours from Tampa. And finally, we had a sergeant die by suicide in Ocala about a week before the end of June. And my program director, Dr. Carol Razor Cordero, went up there to provide our presence and offer our services. Carol, as some of you guys know, Carol Razor Cordero is a survivor of her son dying by suicide 2 years ago. So these are things that are happening, and they require collaboration. And what I want to do with this coalition is have more of a formal process and make it more systematic. Systematic in the sense of instead of it being one, two, three, like sequential, it's a thing where it's integrated and people react to the integration. This integration is going to require skill sets from all over the county, from the faith-based community, from the social workers, to the mental health community, to the employers, the homeless people, the vet center, the VA. It's going to take all of them integrated process, because when suicide prevention actually involves several components that people don't understand. It provides a suicide awareness, suicide intervention, suicide postvention, and all 3 of them actually have a piece when it comes to suicide prevention. One thing I can tell you right now, there's very little services at all for families who lose a veteran to suicide, and I'm hoping this coalition will actually step forward and fill that gap as long as we can. So the things that what we're still grappling with as we had our first meeting is, what do we name ourselves? So if any of you guys have any suggestion, I'm looking at the Suncoast Veterans and Families Suicide Prevention Resource as our name. Then we got to set up to be a coalition, it means you have to have more than one organization. I don't want to do this by myself. This has to be collaborative. And I know that's kind of contrary to a lot of nonprofits and for-profits, because most nonprofits and for-profits, all they want to say is, my idea is the way. My program is the way. Everything must come through me. And that's just not going to work when it comes to suicide prevention and providing service for these families. We got to think outside the box. We got to be more collective and collaborative, and not thinking that everything must come through my doorway. That's a challenge. I'll probably have more success in the beginning of getting individual skill sets than I will getting organizations, but I need the organization to be a coordinator. I need the organization to be part of this. So if you're an organization, a CEO of an organization, president of an organization, please contact me, let me know so we can start making this thing work. I just can't bear to see another suicide, and we're still trying to figure out what we want to do. My thing is, put something out there and we can be fine it later on, but we got to get something out there. Our first event, around the corner about, we got to put something out there. September is Veteran Suicide Prevention Month. Scratch that. September is Suicide Prevention Month, but I want something that is organic and grassroots from the community to provide a service an event that's going to include the veterans, the families, faith-based, mental health, whatever, all together, providing a service for that particular month. So that's one thing we're going to do. We're going to be very modest in our expectations because we just want to start it out, and then as time goes on, it'll be better and better and better. So if you can help me out, please let me know in any role you can play. I want to also create an executive committee that's going to consist of planners, marketers, administration, and people involved in social media, so they know the reality. So anyway, that's what's going on. We met. We're going to start meeting monthly. The core. We'll start meeting monthly every third Wednesday at 3 o'clock via teleconference. We like to have a face-to-face, and every now and then have a face-to-face so we can start getting that going. We're going to be developing the goals, and we're going to an action plan. Because I'm not more about goals as much as action. What are we going to do with these things? So anyway, this is a quick, short update. It hasn't been forgotten. We're in the process now of completing the next step, and always the second step is always hardest, is the follow-up. And that is to start getting us together and start creating a process where we can actually start offering help and need. Something you can do for me, if you can identify skill sets that can help us out as far as people who are good in marketing, people who are good in the social media side of the house, people who are good with the press release and that kind of stuff, people who are like in tune with the local press and that kind of thing. Those are very important skill sets that we want to need to get this thing going. And people who are process thinkers. So if you know someone like that, even that's you, let us know so we can get this thing going. Okay, thank you very much, guys, for listening to me. This is again, in the future you will see it's called the Suncoast Veterans and Families Suicide Prevention Coalition Resource. Until then, Tony Williams out.